just begin with Nilay. So, hi Nilay, how are you doing today? How was your morning?
Good, good, Ayush. I just came back from my gym and my boxing session, so I'm feeling quite fresh.
Oh, good, 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 good. So Nilay, first of all, we would like you to introduce yourself. So at Zata, what we do is like we do a 30-second pitch. So all of the people who don't know about you, I would like give you 30 seconds to pitch your startup idea or what you are doing. I can explain them in the next 30 seconds what you do. So like if you want some time, you can take, and then like I'll set the countdown for 30 seconds, and you have to pitch your startup idea to all of the people who are viewing the meet right now. Okay.
Wait, that's quite nostalgic. I
So,
thought we are out of that 30-second pitch now, but yeah,
so tell me whenever you are ready, and like we'll.
um, I think we should be ready.
Okay. So
Our
like
business is decent size, so we are not could not be explained in 30 seconds now, but yeah, I will try my best.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like okay. So 3, 2, 1. Over to you, Nile.
Hi everyone, this is Nilay. I'm founder of Kindly Health. We are building a sexual health platform for men's. We are backed by some of the top VCs in the country, including Y Combinator and some of the global investors. We are currently at a run rate revenue of monthly around 2 crores. We are 1.5 year old brand, have served more than 1 lakh clients, are already CM2 positive. We're looking to raise another $5 million and at X valuation. And yeah, that's it.
Oh, so thank you, Nile. So let's just begin the conversation. So first of all, I would like to know what inspired you to launch your company in the sexual wellness space. Like, what gap did you see in the market, and like you decided to like launch your brand in the market? What was your inspiration?
So, Kindly is actually a pivoted company. We actually started post COVID, which was post second wave of COVID. And at that point of time, we were figuring out what should be done. And then came an idea where we wanted to solve for reproductive health space in India, which is quite an innovative and interesting space. We were called Janani before. I'm a second time founder. I've sold a company in past which was bootstrapped to a larger company in US. If you've heard about a telecom company called AT&T, so they were able to they acquired through their one of their funded company called Senate, helped them setting up the whole structure in India. And then this was my second venture after doing something in IoT and AI space. We were very early in IoT and AI space when IoT and AI didn't exist like today. And then the concept was, let's do something interesting around the reproductive health, because it with the lifestyle changes and a lot of things, and even I've seen in my families people are facing reproductive health issues during pregnancy planning and all. So we started a company called Janani. We raised $1.25 million from Indian investors, which included certain VCs and one of the, I will not say strategic investor at that early stage, but it was Apollo Hospital. They came and backed us. But during that course, we realized that reproductive health, where it seems very interesting concept to solve for, sometimes it is not necessary what seems sexier is in real really sexy at all, because the problem with reproductive health using technology platform was that it is a pure offline play. You really cannot build an online solutions into it because there are a lot of operational challenges and even certain legal challenges which are defined by the law. For example, if anybody in IVF, if you've heard about it, which is in vitro fertilization, it is very much period dependent of a woman. So there's a lot of ultrasound which is required. Now in India, ultrasound cannot be done like US and UK in home, because as per the PCNDT Act, if you do that, you go to jail.
Yeah.
And there are 6 ultrasound required. So every time a customer anyway has to go to a clinic. So the line is not going to support anything. So then these were certain things which we realized was not working out. There were 2 options for us: to shut down the venture completely and just whatever money we have left return to the investors. But one of my investor, who is again a very popular, he is right now the chairman managing director of Pine Labs. His wife is one of my investors. They told me that, why don't you apply to Y Combinator? I said, like, what does Y Combinator gonna help us with? We are already, we've raised $1.5 million in past, and it's been a year. There's no revenue dripping in. We applied to YC with honestly no expectations, because Y Combinator, being Y Combinator, we were not very confident that even we were able to get into that.
Mhm.
They applied. I think luck favored the brave. We were brave enough to apply to YC. We got into YC in winter 22, and that was quite interesting because we were the only company across South Asia which could get into Y Combinator at that point of time, and the only healthcare company. So, and we were part of the healthcare batch, and then there was a big exposure to the whole Silicon Valley which came in front of us, which is a very different experience altogether. Not only Y Combinator gave us a lot of things which we are thankful to, understanding the business helped us in pivoting the whole business idea as well. So by the time of our demo day, we had already pivoted. We ended up raising around $3.5 million from YC and multiple other larger institutional fund across Japan, India, US, Singapore, and all. And then the interesting journey became, which eventually got converted and pivoted into what we know today as Kindly Health. So yeah,
Good,
that's
good.
how Kindly Health started.
So like currently you're focusing on the issue of men's health, like any program to like expand it to the women's health as well, women's sexual health.
Interesting question. Actually, our whole business started as women health, but then
Okay.
we realized that we had to pivot to men's health because women health. So we never wanted to build a business where we just are selling the product. We really wanted to build something which is very efficacy dependent because we are doing healthcare. So we because up to a certain limit, probably you may do sales through e-commerce and all, but eventually, if your product don't work, your business gonna fail.
Yeah.
That was the first and most primary objective for us. So we start Janani was the brand name. So you can guess out, like it was all women. Then we moved to Kindly, and it became all men, because interestingly in men the problems are very it is human autonomy is like that. The biological aspect of the men's health is like that. One problem is one solution. But in women, the human autonomy is like that because everything is so hormonal dependent. Whether if your HCG hormone, like if your thyroid goes for a toss, if your your FSH goes for a toss, your AMH goes for a toss, two of them goes for a toss, everything goes out for a toss. Like especially for example, we talk about PCOD, PCOS. It is a very very clinical driven approach. It requires hand holding. It requires so and simple folic acid is not going to help any women suffering from PCOS. It's stupidity. People are selling it. So we never wanted to do that. It's a very complex business to build, which requires again a lot of hand holding, a lot of service angle to it. And when you include service in your business, especially in healthcare, the probability and chance of scaling the business and the cost of scaling the business is very high, because any service business require more and more cost per cost per capital. Like you will, it's not cost effective business, and that is the reason you see a lot of service companies in India, especially in healthcare, have not made that big. They're still negative. They have not made money. Where anything which is more product or product plus service driven has been a great success story. So this I'm just talking from, not generalizing it, but very much talking from the healthcare perspective in India, because the structure and the infrastructure of healthcare in India is like that.
Okay, okay. So like how do you set yourself apart from the competition? So like all of these Ayurvedic brands, they are also selling the sexual wellness tablets and like stuff, ashwagandha. And so how do you set yourself apart from them? What is your USP?
Yeah, so that's how I started the whole conversation. Ayush, if you remember, we said that we wanted to create product which are more efficacious, which support efficacy, which are more science backed. So I think a lot of companies, as you rightly said, are selling the same product. Whether it is an ashwagandha is been there in the market as a commercial product for I think more than 200, 300 years now,
Yeah.
even older than that if you get into Vedas and all. But there is one ashwagandha is not going to solve for all. It's like, if you have X disease, you're not going to pop a paracetamol for everything. You cannot pop a paracetamol if you have a stomach ache. So the same problem need to be solved scientifically, and that's where we are building product which are very heavily R&D and research. That's where we are filing certain patents and all. So if you see our products, the formulations are very unique, and that's the reason we never even reveal our formulation. The formulations are written in a way that, of course, we tell that what ingredients we have used, because we have to tell it as per the law. But how much and what percentage it is used, nobody knows except the company. So I think that's where the products are a bit different. And that's where, if you see the scale of the business has been like that, we're just 1.5 year old. We're already at more than 2 crore monthly revenue. And customers are loving us because the efficacy is very important in a healthcare business.
Right, right, right. So what was the biggest challenge that you faced in the sexual wellness industry? Anything specific?
The industry itself is quite challenging.
Yeah, yeah, like people have this enigma, like people are shy to talk about their sexual wellness in India.
Hi, Ayush.
Hi, hi. Am I audible?
Yeah, there has been some
Issue with
electricity
network?
issue in my society. No reason.
Yeah, no problem.
Is it okay if I turn off my camera?
Yeah, 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 it's good. It's completely cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
like we were just talking about the industry itself.
Mm-hmm. Just give
So
me 1 second, yeah.
yeah, 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 sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I would like to know about your thoughts on the industry itself. Like, how do you see this industry growing in India in the future? And like, what are all the challenges that if someone is trying to build something on a sexual wellness thing today, so what are all the challenges that the person has to face in this day and age?
Yeah, it's a very interesting category, Ayush, because first of all, it's a very big market. It's still pretty much untapped, and as
Yeah,
you rightly said, solutions which are available are mostly in form of same ashwagandha and shilajit, which are there.
yeah.
The problem is that people are done with that,
Mhm.
it's people are really looking out for real solutions. So if in any industry, not just sexual, in any industry, if you really want to build a business, you have to keep on innovating, because anybody can launch a D2C brand today. It's so simple. You go to manufacturers, fulfill is, minimum order quantity value, and then you're good to go. But if you're not able to innovate, then your business is not gonna go far.
Mm.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is how that is what I believe. People should really keep in mind before venturing into not only sexual health but any health business.
Mm, right, right. So, like, tell me something about your college life, maybe. How was it?
My college life has been quite interesting. I did my, graduation from a college called Petroleum University in Dehradun, and that's how where I did my BTech.
Mm-hmm.
Then after BTech, I got my pre-placement offer in a car design company called DC Design, Dilip Chavre Design,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with sports car. My first project was actually interestingly Shah Rukh Khan's vanity van. So I was involved in that project. Got a good exposure in that, whole automotive engineering. But never wanted to be part of any organization. Actually, always had this thing in my mind that I have to do something of my own. Left Pune, came to Delhi, started
Mm-hmm.
working for a very small startup initially to get an exposure of what actually a startup
Hello.
is, how a startup built. Worked
You are
on
not
their,
audible, Nilay. Hello.
early customer acquisitions
Hey.
and a couple of other things. But then eventually found the right founder to start with. So my co-founder, which started, my last business, we are still he's my co-founder again in this company as well. So that's how the got into entrepreneurial journey. College has been interesting, nothing major. It's just like a normal college life of any engineering student.
Okay. So, like, when you were researching about this topic on sexual wellness, so like, what source or what book was like influenced you the most?
If I have to be 100% honest, this may not go well with a lot of people because a lot of people believe my belief systems are a bit different. Of course, I really, agree that reading a lot of books actually help. But honestly, if you ask me, there is a stage of everything. As books are good to read. I don't read books. I'll be
Yeah,
very
me
honest.
personally, I don't even read. Even I don't
Yeah,
read books. Like
I
I,
think.
it's the era of transition to the visual concept. Like people are reading more and more less books, and like they are transitioning into the visual stuff more.
Yeah, so for me, the working methodology is a bit different, and I think it has helped me till today in career where I love to be with people who are more intelligent than me. They teach you a lot.
Yeah,
I love to be with people who have done something better in life. They again teach you a lot. So I think my bookish knowledge and people in I'll be very honest with you, whatever generally we find in book, if we try to apply it in your especially in your business, it's not going to work out. Because we were taught one thing in our YC days, and even in my last company, which I sold, the learning, whether it was in B2B or right now we are doing B2C, every single day in business, you learn something new, which no book in the world can teach you. Like we have worked with MBA graduates. I have hired, we used to be a large team. Now we have cut down the team, but we used to be like 45, 50 people. We had MBA graduates from some of the top IIMs. But honestly, those were quite bookish knowledge. Until unless you don't have real life experience in business, it's not going to work out well. Of course, you can read fictions, you can read some motivational books if it really helps you. A lot of people actually get inspired by reading books. I get inspired by, my inspiration is my own work. So I think that's the thing for me, at least for me.
Right, right, right. So, now, like, tell me about what is your proudest accomplishment so far?
My proudest accomplishment.
Yeah, like anything that you are proud of, like till now, like anything that you have done for the society, maybe, or like for yourself, that like you have built something for yourself.
I
Anything?
think the proudest accomplishment is that every day, every month, when you see your company growing,
Yeah.
you always feel proud about it. Every month and every week, when you see your employees growing at a knowledge level, at a personal level, that is again a very proud moment for us. So August 22, when we launched the business, we were doing, the first month revenue was 5 lakh rupees. Currently, we are doing more than that in a day. So that is a very, very proud thing for us. In a very minimum capital we have raised, being very efficient with the capital usage. I think that is what rest things, rest other things are nothing. Like, I don't get excited with awards where I've got multiple awards in past. I don't get excited in with any articles coming in news and televisions. I used to write for Forbes before. I've left writing for Forbes. If you go and you'll check out, I've written articles for Forbes. But honestly, those are not great, proud accomplishment. If you're really trying to build business, you can only be proud if you are making money. As simple.
So, like your industry, the sexual wellness industry is like still very like people are still very shy about talking about their sexual wellness. So, like, how do you reach out to your customer base?
Yeah, you're absolutely right because people are really uh, shy about discussing, especially men. So men are not like women. Women generally end up discussing with their friends, their mom. As a society, men are brought like that. We don't want to discuss because we think somebody's going to make fun of that. But I think that's an interesting opportunity for us because people are really looking for discrete solution, more private solutions where they are not able, they don't want to talk to anyone. So for example, we have launched this AI assessment a few months back, which has been one of the most important thing for our success. Whereas this AI assessment don't involve any human, but a person can take and understand their sexual score. It is built by some of the top researchers and doctors in the men sexual health space, which are andrologists. And now this assessment is technically more like a medical advisor. So we have done close to 1 lakh report plus 1 lakh plus report generation in last 6 months of launch. So you can understand there is a lot of people who are looking for private and discrete solutions. If you are able to solve for privacy and discretion in a category which is a taboo category, I think you will be able to crack it.
Yeah, I just took the like the in test before coming to the interview. Like it was a good, like the questions were really good, and like it was a very comprehensive test to like it gave me the complete problem that I was facing with, like, and all of the solutions that were recommended. It was quite good. So tell me about how did you scale from few customers to a 2 crore revenue, because that's the problem that most of the startups like face, the scaling problem. So like how did you solve for that? How did you grow?
There, I think you have to be very clear about what problem you are really solving. Okay, you have to have a very, very clear mindset around that. You cannot do so. I've seen a lot of early stage founders, especially first time founders, they get distracted by a lot of things. When I say a lot of things, they want to do everything. So
Right.
so actually Rome was not built in a day. It took years and years and years. So just keep yourself non-distracted is what my one-line suggestion to any early stage founder. Because when you distract yourself, for example, ये भी कर लेते हैं, वो भी कर लेते हैं, ये भी हो जाएगा, वो भी हो जाएगा. So many things that when you get into, and then you try to do permutation and combinations. Pivoting is okay, but in YC we were so Paul Graham was a YC founder. He's written an interesting thing. I'm actually not don't remember the exact sentence, but he says that pivot is good, but don't get into a pivot hell. Like pivot. So what happens? Like some founders keep on pivoting. ये करते हैं फिर 10 दिन बाद ये करते हैं, फिर ये करते हैं. First of all, choose one real problem you want to solve. Then see, is that even a larger problem or you are just trying to create one problem state? Is it even real problem, or you're just trying to create something? Like that is, you have to be very, very clear about it. Sometime, it is not about the it has to be the large. So you may have seen, now the Shark Tank and all, there's so many things, but you've heard this thing, which is a very common word called TAM. What is your total addressable market? Now, is this even larger TAM you're trying to solve for? If that is there, then just be focused on that. Don't try to digress into a couple of things. Then only you will be able to scale up the business. One thing which have helped us out a lot, that we are very, very focused. That we have to only solve for men's sexual health. We started with 2-3 products. And if you see, we don't have a lot of 500,000 products. We have only 9-10 SKUs, in which there are 3 products which are generating this 2 crore revenues a month. So because of that, focused on these 3 products, we have tried to just build that, nothing else.
Good, good. So, tell me about your story for raising funds, and like, what is your advice for early stage founders to for fundraising?
My like market is bad right now. So if you're just, it's like, what is the question? Is the general advice, or you're looking right now, how
Like,
do you raise?
how did you raise funds? Like, and
So how did I raise fund?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I will be very honest. Definitely, I had a bit of advantage for my early raising, because I was a second time founder. I had a success story on my backyard. So first fundraising, I would not say it was a cakewalk. It was tough because we were trying.
Yeah. Anjali, can you mute? Yeah, Nilay, please continue.
Just 1 second, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were talking about how did you raise funds?
Yeah. So for us, the first seed round was quite interesting, which we did in January. But as I said, it was not a cakewalk. Of course, I had some of the people which I knew would back me, because I'm starting something else, and there has been a success story associated with me. But for early stage founder, I would say, like, first time founders who are just doing it for the first time, I think couple of things, as the market has changed and evolved, have changed recently. Fundraising is not very easy anymore. You cannot just go with a random idea and you will just raise capital, unless you just go and say we are doing something in AI. So of course, AI is a hot thing right now. It's not going to be there forever. Every year we see some of the hot things. So AI is right now very hot. But if you really want to raise capital, first of all, be very sure what you are building. As I said, second thing, is it a large TAM? Is it a large problem to be solved for? Because VCs, if you're talking about venture capital work on larger, they really prefer larger TAM. And I don't want to get into that, why TAM is so important for a VC perspective. Probably a VC would have been able to tell you in a better perspective, but definitely you should solve for a larger problem, because they require that whatever exits from there. Then once you have identified the large problem, then you should have a right story. Storytelling is very, very important in fundraise. You cannot raise capital. It's as simple as that. You see an actor who is not acting well, you never will watch his movie again, and you will like, कि क्या पागल एक्टर है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं आता, ये अच्छी एक्टिंग नहीं करता है. बट इफ यू सी एन एक्टर, फॉर एग्जांपल, नवाजुद्दीन सिद्दीकी, फॉर एग्जांपल, और शाहरुख, even in that sense, people go and watch their movies because they've been able to appeal to the masses. The TAM is very large. Okay, they've been able to appeal to the masses. Similar thing, when you're pitching to an investor, your story has to be right to the point, and you should be a good storyteller and a narrator in that sense. You cannot raise capital. So that is the reason when you need a co-founder in your business, because one will be somebody who can narrate the story, generally as a CEO, who will be able to demonstrate the business, tell the story. And if you're building a tech company, of course, you require a CTO in that sense. So that is very, very important for you to raise capital at an early stage in this kind of market.
Right.
If you have numbers and some growth metrics and some KPIs, of course, it always helps.
Yeah, sure. So lately, the customer acquisition cost has been pretty high in the consumer space. So, like, how do you market your products currently?
I don't know who told you that, but actually it's not the case. It is because people are very much dependent on Meta, which really creates this kind of problem. And in your performance marketing, for example, we said we are CM2 positive now. You have to keep on optimizing for as you scale. This is a harsh reality, but this is the fact. Like if you cannot optimize as you're scaling and just keep on burning money, then you're just doing forced sale. If your product, again, everything goes back to the product. If your product is really good and it is in, for example, in healthcare, efficacy matter a lot. In a service industry, good service matters a lot. Then your cost of acquisition of customer may be X or maybe a bit higher, but eventually you'll make money because your products are so good, the customer is going to come back again, which we call it retention metrics. If your retention of a business is around 45, 50, 55% in a consumer business, then you are good. Like, if your customers keep on coming onto your platform again and again and keep on buying your product, तो आपने तो एक ही बार एक्वायर करने की कॉस्ट डाली है ना, उसके बाद तो आपको you should have customers as a repeat customers, then only you can build a business. If you don't have a repeat customer at all, then it's actually waste of building a business, because then you're just burning capital and pushing your sales. So then you are just in a game of discounting offers, selling things which are cheaper, trying to break the market. Please understand, you're not Mukesh Ambani. You don't have capital like Geo had, and the strategies they used. You are a small startup, so it's little amount of money of an investor. So you should be very, thoughtful about how you are burning that money and make the best out of it. So then your CACs will be in control. Like, I don't agree when people say your CACs are high. I'm like, your CACs are high because there is a push sale associated with it.
Okay. So, what are your plans with the company, and like, what are your future goals for the company?
Yeah, my plans with the company are definitely to make it a big, make it large company. Future goals, I don't know what are my future goals. We work in present, and we, of course, on my number future goals, I'm very clear with my next 4 year plans on my numbers. But what the future hold for us, I'm not very neither concerned about us, neither we think in that direction.
Good. So, like, tell me about a day in your life. Like, what is your managing team? How do you manage your productivity every day? What do you do? What is your normal routine that you follow?
My normal routine, as I said, I get up very early in the morning. I'm a early morning person. I know a lot of founders will be like, "कैसे रात में काम नहीं करता है क्या?" But yeah, I definitely, again, I work till 12:30 in the night,
Okay.
and I sleep around that point of time. Then I get up by 6:30. I head to gym. Gym is very important for me. Workouts are very important for me. My boxing and my sports sessions. That keeps me a lot of fresh. If I don't do that, then my days are a bit screwed up. So I always recommend people to work out, take some time. Then I work out for like 1.5, 2 hours generally. Then I get to my office, and then that's it. Like, that's what I do. And then whole focus is around business. We work till 11, 11:30, 12. And I always say that, please don't listen to people who are saying work-life balance. If you want to be a founder, if you want to be an entrepreneur, there is nothing called work-life balance. It's just people are saying that. I don't agree with that. Of course, you need at certain point of time, but in early stage, if you have seen, Shah Rukh Khan said this and became very viral statement that "Aram haram hai." He still sleep for 4 hours. Even he has made millions and millions of dollars. But if you really want to be an entrepreneur, then you have to sacrifice a lot of things. You have to sacrifice a lot. Don't sacrifice your health. So that's why I said, please go and work out. Please be involved in some sports. Except health, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. So that's a life of a founder.
That was very insightful of you. So thank you guys for joining today, and I hope that the session was insightful to you. You gained some knowledge. Your questions were answered, and like, have a nice day ahead. Peace out. Bye, guys.